Echoing, not now. Very good. Again, welcome everybody. It's been a few months since we've had a Vision Zero Task Force meeting, but we've done a lot of work since then. Our work doesn't stop just because our task force hasn't met. And with the past week, we've had pretty rough week on our streets as it relates to pedestrian deaths as a result of crashes. So we have a lot, our work is not nearly over, but we continue to stay focused and do the good work that we can to make our streets safe for everyone. But before we begin, I want to remind the Vision Zero Task Force members and members of the public to follow our code of conduct at meetings. This includes commenting on the specific agenda item only and addressing the full body. Public speakers will not engage in a conversation with task force members or staff. All the members of the Vision Zero Task Force, staff, and public are expected to refrain from abusive language. Repeated failure to comply with the code of conduct, which will disturb, disrupt, or impede the orderly conduct of this meeting, may result in removal from the meeting. This meeting of the Vision Zero Task Force will now come to order. Annalee will now call the roll.
Chair Foley.
Here.
Vice Chair Bindon.
Here.
John Whistle.
Here.
Rob Lloyd.
Here.
Robert Sabian.
Here.
Brandon Handler. Here. Lee Sewell. Here. Nicole Sherry.
Here.
Present Jessica Honduras. Present. Peter Spicer. Here. Michelle Westbrook. Here. Harry Freitas.
Here.
Jovan.
Here.
And last, Diana Drummond.
Here.
Thank you. And we're going to start the meeting.
Great, thank you. I'd like to welcome Rob Lloyd as a new member of the task force. Rob is from the city manager's office, and I'm looking forward to your participation. Thank you for saying yes when I asked. The first order of business is to review the bylaws changes. You may recall that at the last meeting, we discussed changing our bylaws and modifying some of the participation on the task force. This resulted in a change to some of the committee structure, and that was listed in your packet. There were substantial changes to the bylaws, just the removal of a couple of positions and addition of other positions on the task force. So we still are remaining with 2 council members, Councilmember Dwan and myself, 6 members from the city of San Jose, that is down from 7, 6 from the various county agencies, that's an increase from 5, and 3 from other community organizations. This change is important because we want to make sure that we incorporate the voice of our regional partners in all the work that we do, because the work that we do does not start and end in the city boundaries or by the work of the city. It involves the county, BTA, and many other partners in the work that we do. So we're going to begin before we vote on and we're not going to have a presentation on the bylaws because they're pretty self-explanatory and these are not substantive changes. We had more substantive changes earlier this year, which we all approved. So I will open up this for public comment, but this is a packed agenda. So we're going to restrict public comments to 1 minute per person. So please be succinct and which will allow us to have the opportunity to hear from everybody. And we will go into and we'll hear from the committee on any comments they have regarding the bylaws change, and then we will vote. Okay, so Anna is controlling public comments and we have some in the audience, so please stand if you could identify yourself.
Jordan Moldes, District 3. I don't think that you should decrease the number of positions for San Jose City. If anything, you might want to consider increasing it. I think there should be representation in here from any department that has any services that are conducted in the public right of way that might be endangering pedestrians or cyclists. Most notably to me would be integrated waste management, which we discussed at the council meeting, on Tuesday. I was one of the public speakers there. Trash and dumpsters and brush piles are one of the number one, if not the number one blocker of bike lanes. And it kills cyclists when it forces them to narrowly avoid obstacles in the bike lanes. So I think it's a shame that integrated waste management is not in here in the room and helping to drive forward the mission of Vision Zero. I think they should be in the room. I think if there's any other departments that aren't here that operate in the public right of way that could be increasing safety, they should also be in this room. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public in person?
All right,
Captain Spears, welcome.
this time I'm calling Paul Soto. Would you like to unmute yourself?
Yes, Paul Soto from the Horseshoe. Welcome, Jordan. I welcome your presence at these meetings. I've been impressed by your consistency and your delivery of what it is that is necessary for these meetings, in particular Vision Zero, to be considered legitimate. Now, if you don't have waste management, if you don't have all these other departments that are directly involved in the implementation of these safety bylaws that govern this meeting, then we have to call into question the legitimacy of this group as a whole to begin with. Also, the fact that you are abusing your authority as a chair with no compelling reason, but limiting public comment. Public comment, considering how many people are dying on our streets and how Vision Zero is using those numbers to get grant allocations, actually demands more public input, not less.
Thank you, Paul. Gail Osmo, would you like to unmute yourself?
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. I have asked many times, and I'm very disappointed that I don't see in these bylaw change any unhoused representatives. I'm just not understanding that when so many unhoused have been killed. In fact, there was just one a few weeks ago walking in the walkway and the car hit him. But I've been involved with Vision Zero, and I'd like to see an unhoused representative. I'm hoping it will be me because I'm involved, and also California Walk. But because there's so many unhoused being hit on the roads, we really do need to have an unhoused representative. You just have Mr. Lloyd from the city manager's office, but doesn't that have to go back to council for changes? Please, let's do this. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail. Blair Brickman, would you like to unmute yourself?
Hi, Blair Beekman here. Thanks for the meeting today. Thanks for the words of public comment on the bylaw issues. I hope I can better read the bylaws and understand. From what I'm hearing today, the question of representation has come up. To add my 2 cents, the concepts of tech accountability have to be really important in the future of Vision Zero planning. Good luck to get some representatives from tech accountability to the future of the process of Vision Zero. I think it really adds to the concepts of a community harmony that we're really trying to create with tech, with Vision Zero. It really adds to that. It creates a really good purpose of what we're doing with our practices to offer, good civil rights and civil protections in the practices we're doing. So good luck to add tech accountability representation, and thanks for the meeting today.
Thank you, Blair. Mary Lou, would you like to unmute yourself?
Good afternoon, Vision Zero. My name is Mary Lou Avanzino. I live in District 2. I have lived in San Jose for 30 years. I have been a bicyclist and car-free citizen that entire time. 15 years ago, I approached Waste Management, management itself, and asked them about these recycle bins that are in bike lanes and the yard trash. And I had a conversation. Nothing happened as a result of it. I am disappointed that waste management is not going to be on Vision Zero committee going forward, because this is a persistent problem. It's going to be a tough one to solve, but it's a persistent problem, and it makes it less safe to bicycle in San Jose. And I know that Vision Zero wants to make it safer. Please do something to get recyclables out of the bike lane, whatever that might be. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Jeff, would you like to unmute yourself?
Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Thank you. Well, thank you, first of all, for having this meeting. I find these very informative and helpful. But I will reiterate some of the comments that were made earlier. As an avid cyclist for not only recreation, but primarily for transportation around the city of San Jose, I'm very aware of the impact that waste management has on the bike infrastructure, specifically blocking bike lanes with trash cans or trucks and that kind of thing. I've been impacted by that numerous times. So like others, I feel like they could be a member of this task force to help, since they are actively involved in the use of the streets and the conduct and the safety of the streets. So please, I would recommend including integrated waste management in the task force team. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. I think this time we are
Okay, thank you. Thank you for all of the public comment. And so now I will open it up to the committee, to the task force, to for any questions about the changes to the bylaws that are related to the committee makeup, task force makeup. Any questions, comments?
Lauren Ledbetter from BTA. I apologize for I have just an administrative correction. If you look on section 103, it says 6, and then it has the number 7 after it. So I would request that when it gets approved, that you adjust the number to match the number. And then just reading this, I don't see BTA called out in here as a member, and we are not part of the county of Santa Clara. So we would like to continue to have BTA on as a representative. I think we would need to call it out or have something that was a bit more general. And then the last question I have is if staff would feel comfortable commenting on some of the key requests that we heard from public comment. One is there the possibility, it seems to me like the way it's written, we could work with the waste management decision makers to at least get their input, potentially have them on the committee. And then also, I don't see anything here having someone who is representing unhoused individuals. You know all that?
I'm sorry? You're not on the task force?
I am on the task.
That's what I thought you were. Can you sit up here and join us so we can?
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Oh, not yet. Oh, that's not yet. You're right. I'm sorry. Protocol. Sorry. You can still come up here because we're going to vote on you in just a few minutes. I'm sorry? You're the VTA representative.
I am.
I'm sorry to be so confused about this.
And I echo, it's all right, it's okay, but I do echo your remarks. I think they are fitting. Those would have been my same concerns. So I support your recommendations and your observations.
I will sit back as the alternate.
No worries. Thank you for raising that. Thank you for being here. I'm going to turn to our legal counsel about bylaws changes. Can we make the changes that were just recommended here, or do we have to go back and notice the bylaws changes again?
I believe there was a notice sent out for change of the bylaws. And I was prepared today that there would be a motion made by this task force to make those exact changes.
Okay.
And that, if I might just comment, that Santa Clara County Department was going to be changed to Santa Clara County Agencies. Is that correct?
Okay. That would incorporate VTA, right? Okay. Regarding waste management, it was raised in council on Tuesday and taken. A lot of comment was made by the council around the bike lanes and how they are obstructed by both the garbage cans and also debris that is left on our streets. So I'm hesitant to add any more to the task force, but it doesn't mean that their voice isn't heard. And perhaps we could incorporate them into our next meeting and hear from them as to how they intend to address the issues that were raised. Some of the things that were raised were contractual issues with waste management, how they pick up the trash, where the trash cans are, and it's nothing that this task force can really address. That change has to happen at the council level, and the council it was very receptive to the concerns that were raised by Jordan and others about that. And frankly, I wish we'd get rid of throwing our lawn clippings in the street. I just think it's a abomination, and that we should give them trash cans. But that doesn't eliminate your issue. It's the location of the trash cans, and I respect that and appreciate that. There's also dumpsters that we have to deal with, and we have contractual relationships with all of our trash haulers and our recyclers that we have to negotiate through the next contract cycle. So it isn't something that while it's extremely important, I don't want anyone hearing this to think that I don't think that the debris in our bike lanes is not an issue. It is, because if we're trying to get people in their bikes, they need to be safe, and they need to be able to not have to ride around the trash in order to be safe, which puts them in the path of traffic. But where we need to work on that, I really believe, is the council level through memos and through policy changes at the council level. And I really, based on the conversation on Tuesday, I think staff heard that. I also sit on the Transportation and Environment Committee, where this issue will come up regularly, and we will continue to discuss it and push it forward. But if someone wants to include them in the task force, you can include that in the motion. Is there any further discussion? And I say that in a way not to stop debate, but to offer some perspective from a council member that will be looking at this and who's concerned about that as well.
So I think prior to council, just come up with an agenda towards council. I think we can communicate to waste management to put out some type of flyers to remind the residents they're away from the bicycle line. That'd be a first start, right? And then council can make, the policy later.
Okay. Is there, not seeing anyone else with hands raised, is there a motion? Yes, ma'am.
I'll raise a hand. In the interest of ensuring that the community does have input,
We have the public to ask if anyone say anything, say it louder.
Oh,
so that they can hear. Sorry.
my apologies. In the interest of ensuring that the community does have community input and say so, we were just speaking about making sure that the task force is reflective of community members. It sounds as though the community is interested in having integrated waste on the task force, and especially being that they are in the right of way. Anytime we pull people out of the bike lane, which is sometimes the only safe place on the road, they end up in the middle of the street, where if anything were to happen, the first thing they're gonna say is they weren't in the bike lane. They should have been in the bike lane. So to make sure that we provide them the opportunity to be in this one safe spot in the street, I really think that integrated waste should be here and helping us to move forward with our Vision Zero goals on behalf of the community.
Can we add that into the motion? We don't have a motion yet, so someone's going to have to make a motion incorporating the task force changes and then the changes recommended in the emails. Is that right?
I wasn't quite clear on what those changes might be in the email.
Okay.
But as long as there's a red line that shows what the changes to the bylaws are going to be, and everyone is aware of that, the motion is clear.
The only thing isn't this, the integrated addition of a position is not addressed in the bylaws changes. This came up today only. So I'm asking from a policy, from a procedural standpoint, I think it needs to be noticed.
It's usually the process
Yeah.
too. Yeah, I mean, there might be people who didn't come today who might want to
Right.
comment on that. So
Right.
I would say, unfortunately, have to perhaps wait until next.
Right. And what I appreciate your comments. We don't have a motion yet, but I would like to reach out to Integrated Waste Management and get their input on participating on this task force, whether that's appropriate for them or not. It may be, but I don't want to appoint someone and then not have them show up. I want them to be an important part of the community. That's one of the reasons we made some of the changes, is because we removed some of the positions because they were showing up, but it wasn't, their input wasn't as critical as other committees, other members' committee participation was. So that's why we changed it a little bit, modified it a little bit. So if that's the direction, we have to bring that back. We can't make that decision right now because it's a substantive change. It's not just changing a number. Is that right? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
If we're going to be bringing things back, would it also be possible to add in representation from the unhoused? Because looking at the fatalities from Vision Zero, we know they're both the unhoused and the elderly, and we have someone here from ARP. It would only make sense if our goal is actually Vision Zero, that we have someone represent that other portion of our community that is overrepresented when it comes to fatalities.
We can certainly look at that and look at bringing that back. Is there a motion on accepting the bylaws changes as submitted? Someone needs to make the motion.
I'll motion to accept. I move to accept the bylaw changes.
Thank you. Okay. Then let's vote. We don't need to do a roll call vote. Let's do a voice vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. That motion carries. We will have a conversation with Integrated Waste Management to discuss their participation, as well as the unhoused with the Department of Transportation leadership. We'll put our heads together about that as well. Okay. Thank you. We have now made changes to the task force. So it's important for me to acknowledge 3 new task force members that we brought in who are present and welcome them. First, I want to acknowledge 3 task members who were participants in this committee who will no longer be participating, and I just wanted to thank them for their work and dedication on this task force. And they are Michael Brio, Michelle Kimball, and Salvador Alvarez. Next, I'd like to introduce our new members, which is Aston Green. Aston is the Chief of System Safety and Security at Valley Transportation Authority. And as you know, VTA is an important partner in the work that we're doing with Vision Zero. And another addition to the task force is Gina LeBlanc. Gina, raise your hand. Thank you. Gina is a member of Family for Safe Streets, which is a group made up of traffic crash survivors and the loved ones of people who've been killed or injured in traffic crashes. Jean is a core member of Families for Safe Streets and has successfully advocated and brought greater attention to the issue of traffic violence. I know that Gina is a tireless advocate for safe streets in our city and our community, and I'm really proud that you accept the offer to join us. I'm really grateful that you're here. And finally, Jackie Lowther. Jackie's the Director of County Emergency Medical Services. Jackie's been a de facto member of the committee since we really started. So welcome, Jackie. With that, I have an item. Oh, because we're appointing new task force members, we also have an opportunity for public comment on the new task force members that we have appointed. Seems a little squirrely, but that's the way, that's procedure, I guess. So is there any members of the public who'd like to talk about these three fine people who've just joined us? Okay, anyone online? Okay.
Juan Soto, would you like to unmute yourself? Juan? Juan Soto? Go to the next one. Blair Bickman, would you like to unmute yourself?
Hi, Blair Beekman. I just wanted to welcome the new people. Hello. Welcome to the Vision Zero Task Force process. Just a reminder for the new people, I work with tech accountability, and I mentioned it earlier. I think it does something amazingly important for the future of a community. It helps address a lot of issues and gives a really good sense of guidance and ideas on how to consider issues, more from a perspective of it's more inclusive. So really check it out, tech accountability, open public policies and guidelines and procedures, the responsible things. When we act responsibly, it just brings up a better set of choices and ideas for ourselves. A reminder of those things. Thank you.
Juan Soto, would you like to unmute yourself?
Yes, thank you. In terms of the membership additions, I think you see a theme here. One of the reasons why I brought this issue up about the unhoused population being represented here years ago. And the reason why I brought it up is because Vision Zero does not collect data on the victims. You do not collect data. Don't lie. Do not lie. I have these meetings recorded. So what Vision Zero does not do is it doesn't record the status of the victim at the time of death. Okay, and that's disgusting. That is a disgusting fact. And that is all the more reason why the representatives of the unhoused community is absolutely necessary. And I'm sick and tired of hearing the fact that politics or procedure doesn't allow that. Well, you know what? Then that means that the policies and procedures is what's killing the people. That's what's killing them, is your policies and procedures and your protocols.
Thank you, Paul. And we don't have any more.
Okay, thank you. Then let's vote on the task force additions. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Aston, Gina, and Jackie, thank you for joining us. We usually start this meeting with an acknowledgement of those who have died on our streets as a result of crashes and accidents on our streets. We usually start that way, but we had to start with the task force discussion so that we could seat the task force and then move on with the work. I want to acknowledge that we haven't been here for a few months and we have a lot of names to read. And just recently, we had 4 fatalities on our streets just this week. Every day I get a call regarding a fatality or an injury, a serious injury, and it is alarming and something we should all be addressing. And that's why we're all here at Vision Zero, is to try and address that and try to reduce the number of fatalities. So I am going to read one further statement I want to make, is that these truly, and I get asked this all the time, these are not data points. These are human beings. These are people who, with families, who are brothers, sisters, daughters, mothers, grandparents, children. We've lost many loved ones on our streets, 63 last year. We're not on pace to reach that number. That's not a goal that we want to beat. But with 4 this week, we're getting closer, and that's truly a tragedy. So I want to acknowledge that these are all human beings and not just data points that we look at the numbers. We look at the humanity of them. So I'm going to read some of the names, and then Councilmember Dewan will read the rest of the list. Juan Maldonado, Yuachin Hue, Antoinette Torres, Manuel Vasquez, Jefferson Martinez Rupero, Andrew Zoan Ho Lam, unnamed motorist, Mario Arias, unnamed motorist, Justin Estrella, Juan Fo, unnamed motorist, Richard Anthony Lucas, Alejandra Hernandez, unnamed pedestrian,
Unnamed bicyclist. Unnamed infant pedestrian. Unnamed motorist. Unnamed bicyclist. Unnamed motorist. Unnamed motorist. Unnamed pedestrian. Unnamed motorist. Unnamed motorcyclist. Unnamed pedestrian. Unnamed pedestrian. Unnamed pedestrian. Unnamed pedestrian. Unnamed pedestrian. Tung Chow.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I know we're all focused on the same thing, and that is making our streets safe. And we still have a tremendous amount of work to do. We're not even close. I'd like to announce that the minutes posted from our Vision Zero Task Force from April, the minutes from our April 27th Task Force meeting have been posted. And I just want to note that they're available online. We're going to now move into our reports from our various committees and from our various staff members, and we're going to hear an update on our Safe Streets, Slow Down San Jose campaign. So I'd like to introduce Jesse Mintzroth.
Thank you, Councilmember. Beginning with our traffic collision trends.
Could you speak loud?
Yes, I will try and speak louder. Thank you. So beginning with traffic fatality trends, we in the past 10 years have seen traffic fatalities double, which is the background of the creation, the adoption of Vision Zero in San Jose. And so there was a height of 60 traffic fatalities that was in 2015, 2019, and 2021. But then that number was even above that in 2022. And so we're very saddened about that. And thank you, Councilmember Foley, also just for acknowledging that these aren't just numbers, that these are people. And it's really important when we read out the names at the beginning. So that's what's happening in this image, in case it's hard for you to see. It might be small from this distance, but this is 2022. And in this last column here, this is where we are so far in 2023. And this is as of September 26th, which was 40. On this side of the page, we have 2023 is shown in this yellow line, and the context years, the last 5 years, are shown as a range in orange. And so getting us to, we completed August and we are in September here. In 2023, the numbers are trending on the lower side of the range the last 5 years, which is, you know, I'd like to call it encouraging, but it is overall, you know, a sad thing to see the numbers so high. So at this moment, September 26th again, we are at this point 40 in this range here. I'm not going to touch the screen because it's touch sensitive. So looking at the trends up to September 26th, we have 40 fatalities from 39 crashes, 22 of which are on streets that we've designated as priority safety corridors. The individual streets that have the most are Monterey Road and White Road, both of which have 4 in 2023. And looking at some of the other things that we see in the data that frequently rise to the top, if you look at traffic fatalities by mode, these are people killed while walking. We have 23, which is 58%. And just to call out some of the other big ones, roadways that have a posted speed limit of 35 miles per hour or above are 33 of the 40, which is 83%. I'm going to continue a little bit faster because we're a little bit behind time-wise. This is a new slide that we are working with the first time to present now, which is to look at the context of the rise of traffic fatalities in San Jose compared to other cities in California and in the West. This was based on me attending a conference last month in Portland, where I learned that San Francisco and Oakland have seen a faster rise than we have. So it's interesting to know about this. Basically that in the same time period where we went from 60 to 65, that represents an 8% rise. If you look at it compared to 2019 and 2022, you could look at that as the sort of post-pandemic change in percentage. So while it's bad that the number has gone up, it has not gone up as a percentage as high as other cities in the area. And so I was interested to learn that in other cities in the Bay Area, that Oakland, for example, has seen a 38% increase. But in any case, this, I think, gives more of a context of the rising number in San Jose. We wanted to talk to you about some legislation on the governor's desk, very notably AB 645, which is a bill that we've been co-sponsor of for several years now, to authorize the cities of San Jose, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Oakland, Glendale, and Long Beach to implement a 5-year speed camera pilot. This bill is in its various numbers and iterations we've been working on since 2017. And this is the first time it's ever made it through both houses of the California government. And so it is on the governor's desk waiting to be signed, and we are working with the other cities to encourage the governor to sign it. So there are 3 other bills to mention that are also on the governor's desk. One of them is about daylighting, and that's AB 413. Daylighting is the reference to having a 20-foot distance between basically a person crossing the street and the next vehicle. So this prohibits a person from stopping, parking, or leaving a standing vehicle, whether attended or not, within 20 feet of a marked or unmarked crosswalk, and 15 feet of a crosswalk where there's a curb extension. Another one, AB 251, is about creating a study looking at vehicle weights and injuries to vulnerable road users. And then the last one, AB 361, authorizes a local agency to have automated facing forward parking control devices on city-owned or district-owned vehicles for the purpose of taking photographs of parking violations in bike lanes. So we just wanted to mention all of these bills that are currently on the governor's desk. And now I'm going to do a few highlights of the Vision Zero Action Plan. So the Vision Zero Action Plan has 6 priority areas, and we're not going to talk about all of them today. I'm just going to talk about a few of them. One of them is increasing community outreach and engagement. One of the following presentations, actually maybe more than one, will be on this topic. So the call out here is about some of our work that's actually coming up. So for Pedestrian Safety Awareness Month, which is October every year, we this year are doing a new campaign using changeable message signs, which will alert drivers to slow down. And so we will be using new locations that were identified in the pedestrian safety plan, which is called Walk Safe San Jose. So this is new for October this year. And we're working on this with the police department. So there's also coordinated enforcement in these locations. And then the campaign that we've been doing for a few years now, which is from November to March, occurs in the darkest time of year and also covers the period of the year where we tend to see a spike during the holidays. So that is very similar, also changeable message signs and also coordinated with the police department. You advancing this slide. Thank you. So looking at the part of the action plan where we redesign streets using quick build, we are working on 8 miles of quick build improvements. There is Saratoga Avenue, which is in construction, Julian Street and McKee Road, where construction is expected to begin next year, Moore Park Avenue also beginning next year, and Blossom Hill Road is expected to begin in summer of next year. And finally, we wanted to mention a grant application that we recently submitted to the Safe Streets for All grants. And this is for construction. It's at 4 high injury locations, and we submitted the application for $16 million. The locations in the application are Kirtner between Canoas Garden and Highway 87, Monterey Road at Kirtner and Tully, Capitol Expressway and Center Road, and East Santa Clara Street and 11th Street. And now I'm going to pass it to my colleague, Jim Bittner.
So I'm Jim Bittner. I'm with DOT as Jesse is too. I'm going to talk about an update on the San Francisco school safety program. I was here in April and gave an overview of where we stood on the program. So we had a big bundle that we presented in June. It was deferred until the fall. What we're looking at now is coming back to council in October and looking for $6.8 million that would cover the program for 5 years, citywide. And this includes kindergarten through 12th grade, public, private, and charter schools. And really looking to engage with all the schools that are interested in joining our walk and roll program. We had done the survey, like I mentioned, in April to all of the schools in the city. Found a lot of schools were very interested in joining the program if they weren't part of it. Over 90 schools were interested in joining the program. We only had, for reference, 60 schools or so that were in the program. So we had a lot of people that were really interested in joining that. Since then, we've already gotten, I think, 15 more schools that have already joined the program just as a result of that survey. And us starting to engage with those schools that were interested, and our program is continuing to look into those other schools that are interested in joining. We're also looking to enhance school crosswalks across the city at all of the schools to the high visibility ladder style crosswalks. Instead of just the 2 lines. The proposal is to do about 75 intersections a year, roughly about 35 schools a year. For reference, we have about 260 schools in the city. So it's a very proactive effort to really get those crosswalks more visible to traffic, not just at certain locations, but across the entire city at every school. Performing comprehensive school access and circulation assessments. That's where the walk and roll team, as well as the engineers, go out, work with the school leadership, work with the PTA leaders to really engage the schools and find how does the school circulate? Where are the problem areas? Where are places that we have on site as well as on the street that we can really improve the circulation of the school, get people to walk and bike to the school instead of just taking cars to get to the school, and making the most efficient use of the area on site as well as along the frontages of the school to make it work the best that they can. We're estimating we could do about 35 schools a year with this budget, roughly 3 a month. They're very labor intensive. A lot of community outreach, a lot of school outreach, a lot of engineering work that has to start to go into proposals, working with the school to try to come up with solutions. So about 3 a month. Conduct monthly parking education and enforcement at about 30 schools. This would be focused over and above the enforcement that our parking compliance staff does at schools, to really focus on those peak times. And a lot of education, not just giving tickets, giving out warnings, giving out education of what they're supposed to be doing, what the ramifications are of what they're doing wrong, and really trying to educate the parents of what they need to do. That will be something which I think the comprehensive school efforts for circulation will also be helpful to give them more attractive places to do pickup and drop off instead of just going to the first open spot that might be a bus zone. And also we're going to be working with the police department to further evaluate the adult crossing guard program, trying to ensure that we can effectively fill the vacancies that we have in the crossing guard program, making it an attractive program, how we market it, how we look into how uniforms are bought, for example, just looking at all of the different elements of how those positions are filled, how they can be attractive to seniors that are retired, that live in the neighborhood, you have the grandkids in the area, and really try to engage with the schools and the police department and DOT to work together. And lastly, we're going to be looking for all the grant funding we can find that's related to school safety and access and engineering to really try to fund this the best way that we can. So that's the quick update. Hopefully after October, we'll have even more good news. Thank you. Jeff.
Thank you.
Just a quick question for your enhanced school crosswalks. How do you prioritize the school you select for the visibility marking upgrades?
Right now, we're just trying to identify them all. Okay. Because there's 260 schools. It's pretty comprehensive. We're going to be working with the council office staff. We're going to be working with the district leadership. I'm going to be meeting with the school city collaborative next month to give them an update and start that conversation with them and trying to identify where the school priorities are, the district priorities are, the council level priorities are, the engineering side of it, where we know that there's been a lot of incidences or a lot of need in the area, but we don't have the finances to be able to do it. And starting to take all of those things and collaborate together to figure out where the ones that kind of rise to the top for the first year, and working with the council offices to ensure that we're going in the right direction on that. Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Do we have a presentation on is Priscilla here? Is she on Zooming?
Yeah, Priscilla Van Hengel is there,
there she is.
Pullman both.
Oh, okay.
Hi.
Thanks.
Just a quick thing. Is Michelle?
Crosswalk first.
Just let us know when you're ready for us.
Oh, sorry. It's Michelle. Sorry, Michelle. Of course, absolutely.
I'm Michelle Barce from the San Jose Police Department, and with me is Captain Brian Spears. So Captain Spears is responsible for everything with our unit, as well as 6 other units. So he has the daunting task at hand. But I run the school safety and education program in the San Jose Police Department. And one of the main programs that we're responsible for is the adult guard program. And it's especially a hot topic, typically year-round, as council is well aware. But right now we're invited today to speak on 6 separate issues or talking points that council had deeper questions that they would like answered and just a little more conversation and dialogue in. So that's what we're here to give a broad overview, and then we'll open that up to dialogue. So with that, I'll take just a moment. We prepared some statistics, and typically, even on a weekly basis, we are hiring and terminating crossing guards on a regular basis. So with that, please keep that in mind, that these statistics are a snapshot as of this morning. What I had were the hiring and termination statistics for the last 12 months. And all of these reports were ran on the first of every month. So for example, if you just hire column, approximately we're onboarding 2 to 4 crossing guards a month. With that though, there are approximately the same number of terminations. The difference, so within a 1-year snapshot, we onboarded 33 crossing guards. We terminated 24. That leaves us with an addition of 9 crossing guards within the last 12 months. And this is with extended efforts where our top priority is recruitment. Also, please keep in mind that recruitment efforts are not always necessarily reflected in the number of crossing guards that are onboarded. They're very, there's a large array of reasons as to why people either want to or do not want to apply as a crossing guard. And then through our onboarding process and hiring process, many are screened out. I would say 70 to 80% do not clear our police backgrounds or self-select out of the process. And on top of that, once they are onboarded, some people realize this is not what I had in mind. I thought it was a simple job, anybody could do it. And by all means, it's not. It's something that we hold a very high standard to. There is no lowering the bar. With that, our unit has been in existence for over 70 years. We were the only unit that could proudly say we've had 0 fatalities at any staffed intersection within the existence of our unit. But with that comes the integrity and that high level of accountability that we do hold. So with that, a lot of people say, can't you lower the standards? Can't you just omit this? Or if something's not a big issue, would you consider eliminating X, Y, and Z? The answer overall has been no, and for those reasons. We want to make sure that if our staff is out there, that we are able to provide the level of safety that's needed for our children that are out there. Also, our unit provides adult school crossing guards only for elementary and middle schools. And within those, it's not every single school throughout the city of San Jose. There is a whole vetting process to make sure that everything is viewed in a non-biased manner, and it goes through an order of the safety index number. With that, 2 departments are hands-on. We work with schools. We have input that goes into everything to make sure that those locations that are in the greatest need are staffed. So hopefully at a glance, you could look at this, that the number here of applicants within the last year has been almost 200 crossing guards. And then please keep in mind too that only increased by 9 total crossing guards. And 197 applicants already pre-screened. So when an applicant applies through the human resource page, if they do not meet the minimum qualifications, those applicants this is already dwindled down to. So I'll keep this open and we'll.
We know what the minimum qualifications are is my first question. The second question is, do we know what the existing crossing guards are by race and how that relates to the school and the neighborhood in which people are working?
I'm not sure personnel resources and the question of future is, do we track race for applicants? I believe at least as an existing city employee in HR portal, there's an option if I want to self-select and identify myself as a category. So in that sense, it might be captured, but in another, we might not be all of it as well. So I would have to defer to either personal or HR.
If you could complete your presentation and then we could ask questions. I think this is a really important topic that we want to dig into some of the details a little bit.
Sure.
Definitely. Okay, and the second topic that council had asked about was recruitment challenges. So I had mentioned that our number 1 priority was recruitment. We've been as creative and as innovative as possible. As crazy as some of our ideas are, we've done it. Some of our existing crossing guards are in horseshoe clubs. We've been out to horseshoe clubs. We've been to senior dance classes, the aquatic courses. We've been to every single City San Jose library and community center and senior center. They've blessed this electronically. We've worked with every single council district member. There are special interest groups. Out of everything that we could do, online and hard copy, the most effective has been the old school, print out a job flyer and hand them out. Outside of that, the number 2 are street signs. So those are the large cardboard material that are just zip tied around posts. We normally post those at strategic locations. Those are in spots where people travel on a regular basis, hopefully they live in the area, and those are the demographics that we're trying to recruit. We try to place crossing guards as close as possible to their place of residence, unless they request otherwise. If they have another job across town
If they're going to college at San Jose State or City College and they ask, I have classes here in the morning, this would work perfect. Could I be at this location? Do work with that. But otherwise, it's targeted to homes, businesses, or intersections where vacancies are needed to be backfilled. So let me see. So with recruitment challenges, one thing citywide, and it's very innovative, there's a shift to everything being electronic as much as possible. Hence today with our remote tap into this meeting, let alone. Citywide, we've had that shift as well as within the police department. A vast majority of our existing crossing guards are in the senior demographics. That is not the target audience that is savvy to applying online, to seeing TikTok advertisements, to monster.com ads. You know, those types of things are great, and we are doing them. We're doing everything that we can. Yet again, the most effective are those hard copy flyers, and we have flyer task force with my unit that are going out there and just someone's driving, someone's hopping out of the car and passing them out as much as possible. Things that are electronic are one, the city's application. We used to almost exclusively accept all applications through a hard copy. If they didn't have one, we'd mail it to them, we'd fax it to them, invite them over to our office, HR would have them, they could fill it out in person, interview on the spot. Being electronic, they not only need access to a computer and know how to use a computer, they have to set up their own accounts. So that is challenging too. Most of the times that also requires the use of a personal email address. That might sound simple, even though there's no cost into creating a Gmail or a Hotmail account, but trying to explain that to someone or setting it up for them and then understanding how to log in, how to check their email is a whole nother challenge right there. So the online application. Within the police department, they need to go through backgrounds. Our backgrounds has shifted from about a 30-page personal history questionnaire that you fill out about yourself to now being electronic. That's another challenge right there. All their supporting docs, social security card, a copy of their driver's license, for example, needs to be scanned, uploaded into a portal also. So it just feeds into the whole issue. If they make through all that, once they're onboarded through the Office of Employee Relations, they're asked to do their orientation via Zoom. That's another issue. So as you can see, there are just hurdle after hurdle. And through a lot of these processes, a lot of people have said, it's not worth my time. I don't know how to do this. I'd rather not work. So that's one challenge that we're facing. Also, it's a split shift position that only works 1 hour each shift. So typically it's when kids are going to school. So 1 hour before school starts, and then from the afternoon release bell, 1 hour after there. If I'm working as a guard, my shift might be 7:30 to 8:30 in the morning, and in the afternoon, it might be 2:30 to 3:30. If you have kids or grandkids or any neighbors or anything with school schedules, you typically have 1 day with an early release also. So your afternoon shift isn't even consistent. That doesn't give you time to go to San Francisco, to drive to Santa Cruz, to run those big errands or go out to a party if you choose. It has to be someone who's connected within a small proximity. Also, the compensation, I think, is great. It's the living wage. However, keep in mind that's only 2 hours compensation. When you pull taxes from that, union dues, cost of their uniform and everything, they're walking away with about $40 in their pocket every day of working. Might be great for extra income, but for someone where that's what they're dependent on, is not that great either. Let's see, I did touch on the fact of having to clear backgrounds, and I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Anyone that we entrust as part of our unit, we want to make sure that they're fully vetted and there are no crimes against children, no sex crimes, no vehicle issues or driving records. So they need to be at that standard. There is a cost of applying as well. They need to have their documents notarized, DMV driving record pulled, gas driving to different places. Insurance. A driver's license currently is required, and proof of auto insurance is also a requirement. A lot of our staff, even though they have licenses, walk to their post, they ride their bike, take the bus, for example. Some that went through all the hoops and obtained a driver's license don't drive, have no proof of vehicle insurance because they don't own a vehicle. So these are hurdles that we've hit that definitely should help. The next bullet, so let's touch on subject number 3, is effective recruitment efforts. So that works, and I touched on that already, the flyers and the street signs. And one thing I did not touch on so far are our current guards that are recruiting their friends. If they're working at an intersection and they notice someone is constantly every day at the same time walking their dog, or someone who's jogging every afternoon, they'll exchange dialogue and say, hey, how are you? You know, they're vested members of the community. This is where they live. They might notice them at Starbucks, you know, in the grocery store and say, hey, I see you in the middle of the day. Are you not working? Do you want to contribute to your community? There's extra income. Our guards are the best recruitment tool that we have. If we were able to implement an incentive program for them for recruitment, or referral bonus or anything like that, I think that would greatly be effective and hold a big impact also. The fourth topic is which intersections are closed. So if fully staffed, we would have 121 intersections that are staffed by crossing guards. I'll hand out another sheet. So this one, the top, let's see, there are 8 intersections that were closed outside of our control. The school's either shut down, it might have been a charter school that combined with another location, or there was a low pedestrian count, so the graphics changed. The ones in yellow are the ones that we have issue filling, and they're closed because of staffing related problems. The next topic is how to accelerate backfilling our vacancies in creative ways. We're hoping that between the group here that we could come up with creative ways as well. And then the last point is a proposed pilot program for high school seniors that are acting as crossing guards on their own, and I'll let Captain.
Yeah, and it's not, it's very premature that I'll bring this up, but I want to just have in mind when it comes to utilizing our, technically our future, right? Our future who are still technology driven. What I'm hoping to accomplish this is we start promoting the responsibility and accountability by utilizing high school seniors and this being a grade versus for pay. Because for pay, right? For a grade, when we start looking at this, really promoting safety for the city of San Jose, right? Leadership, academic integration, you know, community engagement, safety drills, continuous improvement. There's some components that, you know, maybe on the side that we can discuss, and we look at it. This is not the catch-all. This community cooperation, which is desperately needed. So it's just a consideration that I'd be more than happy to push out additional information.
So are you suggesting a pilot program for high school seniors? Can you give us an idea of what it might look like?
Sure. So if we were to take a look at seniors that are preparing, and I have a senior at home, so I'm utilizing my daughter, who we had this discussion. She's applying for colleges, and there's a variety of things and responsibilities. She's also a driver. So when I start bringing up and we start talking about safety, where my daughter goes to school, she sees there's a elementary, a junior high, and a high school in close proximity. As a first-year student driver, she's so concerned about that. And I asked her, I said, well, if you're so concerned, would you take on the responsibility an hour before class if we were to work with a school? Would you take on that responsibility to come out to make sure that these children make it across the street safely without having your cell phone in your hand and giving it your undivided attention? And she looked at me like as if, Dad, duh. She says, yeah, that's what we're there for. And so how do I view it? How do I see it? Well, we would be very strategic, right? I hope I'm not being offensive, but I'm not looking for a senior who has to make up his grade, his or her grade. I'm looking for our leaders that the school can help us identify, that parents can help us identify, and the ones that are going to take on this responsibility, because that is what's so desperately needed within communities. And so,
Yeah, Kev, I think that's fascinating. Would you consider making it part of, let's say, a driver's ed program where there's associated community service hours associated with acquiring your license or something in that category, so it's encapsulated into that whole driver education program?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm very familiar with your background, and you and I can both attest to distracted drivers are some of the most, are the catalysts to our collisions, our fatalities, right? So I'm very open-minded to this. I just wanted to voice it.
Well, I think that's a really, I love the thinking out of the box about how we can get more people to apply for these positions and hold these positions. As both of you are speaking, I'm thinking, well, we're kind of putting up some roadblocks in the way of folks who have the time and energy and commitment, but don't drive, so they don't have auto insurance. Why is that a requirement? Where we have to, seniors, not high school seniors, and I don't, older adults, let's call them that, older adults who aren't as comfortable with technology. I'm one. You have to have a scanner. You have your documents, you have to scan them. What does that mean? How do I email? Filling out all those forms online can be frustrating. So it feels to me like we're putting a lot of roadblocks in front of our older adults who are maybe the perfect target audience, and that's just to get the job. Then it's so I'm sorry I'm on a tear, and I'm just gonna go with it, and then I'll call on everybody. Because I've been thinking about this issue a lot, particularly after the young boy was killed in the intersection of his school crosswalk at his school last year. That shouldn't happen. And we used to have safety patrol, crosswalk, crossing guards. Kids used to be crossing guards in our schools back in the day. So then it's the hours. It's the hour in the morning and the hour in the evening. Why can't we have a split shift where grandma does it in the morning and another grandma does it in the evening? That way grandma can play golf, or grandma and grandpa can travel. There's a lot of restrictions we put up in getting people involved, and we need to not, and I'm not saying reduce the requirements. I'm not saying that. Making it easier for them to fulfill the requirements is what I'm suggesting. And I note on this list of the schools that are closed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are in my district out of 18. So out of 18, 6 are in District 9. And that's because we don't have people to fill those positions. And it's not because we haven't tried, because we've pushed out in our district, oh, if you're near Lee Avenue, maybe you could be a crossing guard, but it's not, everything we're doing isn't working. So we need to change what we're doing. I love the idea of a pilot program. Immediately I'm thinking, and I like the idea of high school seniors taking on that responsibility, but immediately I think, well, school starts for them the same time it starts for the elementary schools. So how do we figure that component out?
I would like to work with, we have so much power in it and equity in this.
Is Marianne Duan here? No.
I'm her representative.
Oh, okay, very good, thank you.
I would love to sit down with a high school to take a look at this, to see what that first period, what it looks like, for a senior who's pretty much successfully getting ready to graduate.
Right.
So I only talk from my daughter has five 5 periods. So that may be one perspective. And then I hear you. So when we look at our program, look at making some modifications.
Yeah.
We're not gonna, we're still gonna hold a standard, but making some modifications.
Right.
That's definitely. And I think if we were to utilize both programs, we can be successful in getting some of the numbers up.
Right.
To follow up on that too. There have been a couple schools high schools that we have been in contact with. In high schools, typically all of them have an open period. So it would be the proposal right now, and granted, we're hashing through all the ins and outs of everything. Right now, the school would take the lead. We'd provide the training, we would spot check, give them incentive programs, end of the year celebrations, the accolades and everything. But ultimately, it would be the school that is running the program. Be it an administrator, and they know that every other day is the A block, and then the opposite days are B block.
Sure.
So if you have a late start that day with a 0 period, those would be the kids that would be out there. And same thing with, especially the seniors, they don't typically have a full load, So those that don't have 6 or 7 classes, for example, would be those that are eligible. Or if they're receiving units for it, that would be their last period.
Yeah. Good. That's a good point. You had some questions, so I didn't want to
Yes.
forget that you had
Yeah,
questions.
I really had questions about how we're tracking by race, and I also had just a comment about the barriers being an equity issue, and I think an equity issue possibly by race, but also specifically by age. And I'm thinking that, while I appreciate and understand not wanting to amend the guidelines in terms of the minimum qualifications and those standards, but all of the barriers of the other ones that, the city process, I work for county government, so I understand. And sometimes we get in our own way. And so I think, having to have a driver's license is kind of a standard thing, I think, in government, that we want everybody to have a driver's license, but everyone doesn't need to drive for their job. And so we can change that. We actually have the power to change that. We can change how, if we do orientation through Zoom, and that's the only way we could do it, we have the power to change that. We have the power to set up a computer in our offices and have them come here, and we help people. We do. Yeah. So I think that, and I think the part that was the most sad to me is the $40 after everything was really the most sad to me. But I think there are people, and I think there are even parents at schools. I mean, my kids are grown-ups now, but when they were kids, many of the parents would have been happy to do this stuff if there were not barriers and we could help them find a way to make it happen. They would have been more than willing to give an hour of their morning or an hour of their afternoon to do this work. But we have to meet people where they are and figure out how to get them to where we want them to be. And as part of a community, we want to be able to we want our kids to be known by people in the community. And so we want that trusted person that knows people in the neighborhood to be our crossing guard. We want our kids we want to build that sense of community. And so however we could do that, I think is good. And then the high school part, I think is great too. But I would just ask us to not count out those kids that are not the college bound kids, because those kids actually, their life could be transformative also by having the opportunity to participate in something like this. It could turn around their high school trajectory by having a service opportunity in their own neighborhood, in their own community. So,
and I wanted to, there were a handful of questions on this in my memory is this, so please remind me if I glance over something. As far as the requirement for a driver's license and hand in hand with that, the auto insurance has already been proposed to strike. Okay. Citywide though, that is a process change.
Yeah.
So that's outside of the police department, but that is in the works, and it's the department's recommendation to strike those. It's not that all city employees are required to have a driver's license. It's because where it came from originally is that crossworkers needs to be able to work any shift at any given post that they're asked to, that either morning or afternoon. So being able to get around. Granted, we like to keep them as consistent as possible, and we have our go-to substitutes, so to say, so we don't task with that. And that's why our recommendation is please strike that, because things have changed over time. As far as the demographics, ethnicity and race that you said, I pride myself on this one. I've been with the unit for over 11 years, so I know the ins and outs of the units. I would hope to say pretty well. With that, like I said, we tried to recruit as close as possible to their place of residence. With that, we're capturing a pretty exact demographic of what San Jose is. And that is not just race. And I don't like to put us into a category of saying, well, we need more of one demographic. We don't have another, of a certain one. I want as many applicants as possible to staff them. And in that, depending on the area of San Jose as well, we typically are able to match if someone's bilingual with a similar language that's in the area. That also crosses paths with race, if it's heavier in one area than another. If someone is not as strong in English, we pair them with someone who is bilingual in the same language. As far as getting to know their kids, our retention, because I see retention equally, if not more important than recruitment. When I came on board, it wasn't. And we had guards that say, we have to when the school for 9 months. The captain's award, we just, every summer we have awards, and with those award milestones, we have a 3-year anniversary that we just awarded. We have 25 years. We had, I think, 20 years, and these are only the milestones in increments of 5. This isn't counting the 21 years and 19 years and everything. So I would say on average, guards stay a minimum of 5 years. And kids, like you said, do know their guards. It's not, oh, there's a couple ladies out there. It's where's Miss Ann today?
Yeah, right.
She's been absent for a few days. The last few years, she's never been absent. And we get those calls, and they make their gift baskets for them. They are valued in their community. They are known. So, yeah.
Okay, it is now 10 to 3, and I only have another presentation. This is 2 more presentations. I know I'm not finished. I just want to set up the amount of time that we have left here. I think this is a really important discussion. So what I'd like to propose is that if there are a few people who would like to convene at a later date to sort of nail down some of the things that we can propose as a task force to the council, because we don't have authority to make any presentation to the council itself. Councilmember Duan and I do. So what I would suggest is that if there is a few people who would like to serve on a subcommittee of the task force to discuss this specific issue, and maybe Captain Spears, if you're available to help us talk about the senior program and others.
Or you, I will make
Very kind. Then I think that would be a really good use of our time, because there's so much here that we're not going to get it in the next 45 minutes and still cover the 2 other reports that we have. And it's clearly important, and it's clearly touched a nerve with me personally. I've been thinking about crossing guards for a long, long time, and others have too. It's important. I was did a walk and roll to Hacienda today. There were 100 kids. It was fabulous. And there were parents and teachers who were the crossing guards, making sure that we cross the street properly. It was really, really wonderful. So are you available for that sort of thing? Okay, are you available for that?
I will make it.
Okay, then who might be interested? Rob, okay. I mean, you don't have to say yes. As a senior, as an older representative.
Some of the issues you've tabled are very near and dear to.
Yeah, Joe, I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then.
Some things that potentially we do.
Great, thank you. And then, council member, you interested? Okay. And anyone else, if you're interested, just let us know. I'm not looking for the whole task force. That's just redundant of the whole task force to participate on this. So if that's acceptable, I'm going to take the privilege of the chair and appoint that subcommittee, and we'll move forward and have an offline meeting and have some work that we can do to hopefully bring forth to council at some point. We may have to bring it, do we have to bring it back here before we go to, okay.
Ad hoc committee that's less than the quorum of the members, then that's fine. We don't need to notice anything.
Oh, that's good to keep in mind, the Brown Act ad hoc, got it. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for being here, for reminding us of those things. Diana, you had a question, comment, and then Gina.
I just want to say you did an excellent job of making sure that position seems very, very important, but it also sounds very undesirable. I don't think anyone here is more interested in that position than they were before they got here, especially the idea of all the obstacles for the seniors, and it's like, well, then let's give it to the youth. I think it's unfair that the youth really should alleviate the obstacles for the seniors, and then to not even pay the youth $40. I understand getting a credit, which is really cool, but if they're seniors, it's really great to get work experience that might allow them interest to maybe getting a job here at the city. Make it valuable to them, because it really sounds like we're winning more than they are, especially with all the costs that you talked about. Our kids turn out and uniform and having to get to school on time, having to take care of someone else's kids, make sure they got to school on time. Like, where did teams win in all of this? Besides the credit, if they're already doing really well, they probably got it anyhow. Right?
Originally, that was the law to recruit them to pay. However, through police backgrounds, we can only background adults. So they would need to be at least 18 years old. That is a barrier for high school.
We're not done with this. This is
No.
highlight that we will definitely in all input with the working group. This was a concept for me to get past. Started talking about it. So,
I love it.
You know, so
love it. Thank you.
That, when I'm unemployed, so.
Gina, you have the last word on this topic.
Okay, well, I love the high school idea, actually. I think it's great for them to learn about safety, and I think it would impact their whole lives, really, and for kids, younger kids, to look up to them, that and being a role model, their peers are around. I think it's a win-win. Great idea. I wanted to say something about one of the earlier presentations, but I don't want to, if anyone else has something on this topic, they can. On Jesse's presentation, I just wanted to point something out.
Go ahead. We actually didn't ask for questions on that, so go ahead.
Yeah, well, just that I would like to see injury data. I think I mentioned to him before. I'd like to see injury data as well as fatality data, because I think that sometimes you add a zero when it comes to the injuries. If we're having 22 fatalities, we might have 220 injuries. And through Families for Safe Streets, I have met a lot of people who've been injured, who compare titanium rods in their backs and whatever. They survived the crash, but it's affecting hundreds of people in this community. So I think we need to keep that in mind. And as more of a complete picture of what's happening on the street, is injuries. And I wish we could include near misses as well in some way, because then we really have a complete picture of what's going on. And one other thing on the slide where we only increased by 8%, which I think is good. What I see, though, is that San Francisco has like 800,000 people and we have 900,000, and we had 65 deaths and they had 27. So I think if you're looking per capita, you're still not so good. We're not increasing faster, that's good news, but we're not that great. Okay, that's my comment.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you both for being here. Thank you for your presentation. Obviously, there's a lot of energy around this issue and solving the issue and finding a way that we can fill those crossing guard positions and make our kids safe. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks for saying yes. Okay, we have two more presentations. Okay, and I know that this gives the presenters some crunch on their time, but if you could stay within 10 minutes, then that gives us time to get through the presentation and maybe ask a few questions. I know. I'm sorry, Priscilla.
Thanks for the guidance. Appreciate it. Just want to make sure you can hear us okay, because we're having a really hard time hearing the room.
We're good. We can hear you.
Okay, great. So we'll rush through our presentation, and then if we're not able to entertain too many questions, you'll know where to find us after. So we're here representing the Walk Safe San Jose project management team, myself and Sarah Pullman from Nelson Nygaard. We're working directly with Tao and Jesse in bringing this project to fruition. The agenda of our presentation is in multiple parts, but we're going to skip that slide and go first to the project background. Great. So what is Walk Safe San Jose? It's a pedestrian safety plan to encourage more walking, transit, and emerging mobility in Council Districts 3, 5, 6, and 7, funded by the Caltrans Sustainable Transportation Planning Grant Program. The city's 2020 Vision Zero Action Plan identified these districts as experiencing the most traffic fatalities and severe injuries, and that's why we're working here. The project is advised by an equity steering committee, which CalWalks vetted and is supporting through, I think, a series of meetings. We check in with the equity steering committee before we go out and do public engagement. We check in with them when we do our technical work to see if it represents the people that they are representing. And we have a kind of circular feedback loop of informing the equity steering committee, the public, and then coming back to the steering committee and advising the project management team, kind of iterative in that way. We also have a technical advisory committee, which consists of staff from the city of San Jose, and they advise us on the technical merits of our work. 3 outcomes that are expected from the project are to improve priority areas by providing safe routes of travel for vulnerable road users who walk, and developing 30% quick build design plans and gaining stakeholder buy-in for both where they will be and what they will be, and gaining stakeholder buy-in and using pedestrian safety best practices and improvements through a work stream that I'll describe a little bit later. The project vision is for people in San Jose to help decide where and how to make investments that lead to safe, comfortable, and appealing walks to the places they live, work, play, and learn. Just before we go to the next slide, pre-analysis of these focus areas within the districts 3, 5, 6, and 7 identified several target populations to engage in our work. Those included Spanish speakers, people, the Vietnamese community, school communities, older adults, people who are unhoused, and or people who are working with people who are unhoused. And so those groups were really targets for us, not only in kind of advancing our technical work, but also as having members on our equity steering committee. So I think you're likely familiar with what quick builds are. So here's some examples of quick builds that may be considered for implementation through design and future implementation through this project: parklets, pedestrian plazas or curb extensions, high visibility marked crosswalks, pedestrian refuge islands, protected bike lanes. Quick builds use these semi-permanent hardscape elements to improve safety without the high cost of complete roadway rehabilitation or drainage work related to shifting a curb and gutter. You're familiar with them locally, but it was important to our engagement team to be very clear through outreach what our project outcomes are and the nature of the designs that would eventually make their ways to the street. These plus other yet to be determined pedestrian safety innovations and operations, signalization, and within the public realm will also be elevated through our placemaking task working groups, which run on a slightly separate timeline than the overall project. There are 3 phases of our work. We're at the conclusion of the second phase. In phase 1, we completed a desktop analysis using readily available data to map out the places where our most vulnerable people are walking in potentially unsafe conditions. We took this desktop analysis out to the community after reviewing it with the Equity Steering Committee and the TAC, and they took a refined look at the location map to understand, so that we could understand better whether our work represented the lived experience of people out in the world as expressed through the engagement, and also concerns that the Technical Advisory Committee may have taken in through various measures. Of course, also our analysis included an analysis of the safety conditions related to historic crashes, but also the nature of streets, for example, multi-lane streets or on signal operations across the districts. We're at the end of the second phase of this project with the principal goal of refining the potential project locations before we move into design. I'm going to turn it over to Sarah to talk about the analysis.
Thank you, Drew. For the analysis, we took a data-driven and engagement-focused approach to analyze possible study areas within the 4 council districts. For the equity prioritization framework categories, we use this framework to refine potential study areas and quick build locations and project types. Based on the survey responses, these are the top issues that make folks vulnerable to walking and rolling. Our goal of the plan is to address these challenges. And like Drew was saying, we paired this framework with our earlier desktop analysis to fill in the gaps in high equity areas and use data to address other vulnerabilities like older adult trip flows, unhoused camp locations, and difficult to cross segments. Based on the desktop analysis, which was our existing conditions report, plus the map survey, we asked the Equity Steering Committee to help select the top 5 categories of this equity-based prioritization framework to help us refine the categories used in the priority areas before going out to the phase 2 engagement. This map was the result of the Equity Steering Committee input in deciding the top 5 categories out of the categories listed in the previous slide. From highest to lowest priority, the Equity Steering members ranked the criteria as follows. Challenging to cross corridors and intersections, this data was taken from our desktop analysis. Places people feel unsafe, both personal perceived safety and traffic safety. This was taken from a survey response. Places to buy food and groceries. This was also taken from a survey response. Older adult trip flows, which was a desktop analysis. And lastly, proximity to parks, schools, and transit. This was a desktop analysis influenced by survey prioritization. The blue ovals on this map, and I understand this map is quite busy and we have a easier to read map on a couple slides further. The blue ovals represent areas in the city where all 5 categories from the equity prioritization framework are present. And when identifying the potential quick build projects, we started by locating a difficult to cross segment in an intersection, which is the first category that was ranked by the Equity Steering Committee members, and then conducting qualitative high-level desktop analysis of the area to see if it would be suitable for a quick build project. And lastly, we identified other criteria nearby. While this criteria was not ranked in the selection of the quick build projects, we overlaid fatal and serious injury crashes to understand the context of the area. For phase 1 of engagement, we confirmed existing conditions, and we were looking to understand where people walk and what they like to see, safety concerns and issues, and how that related to the desktop analysis, and then data analysis that is challenged by this engagement, and lastly, what is critical for improvements and connections. We have a teaming partner, California Walks, who went out and conducted our engagement, and the first phase of engagement introduced the project to the broader community and focused on soliciting existing conditions and visions from the community. The project team saw input from the various stakeholders while focusing on engaging the 5 target populations that Drew mentioned at the beginning of the presentation. And the solicited input included specific barriers to walking in the project area, key destinations, opportunities to improve safety, enhance access, and community priorities that will inform the alternate development and alternatives evaluation criteria in the upcoming phases. And during phase 1, Cal Walks and the project team collected input via a survey, targeted stakeholder interviews, and a series of in-person pop-up events. So as this slide shows, there were 8 major tablet engagement events, which included tabling and presentations, which reached roughly 335 people, 11 engagement events, which included digital media and surveying, which reached roughly 7,300 people. And on this map, you can see the 4 districts of San Jose that we are focusing on, and the blue dots on the map represent the areas where Cal Walks had tables. And here are some photos from the activities that Cal Walks engaged in and engaged in person to solicit input. The goal of phase 2 of engagement, which is currently where we are, is to refine the potential quick build project locations and inform on what quick build projects should be installed. Right now, Cal Walks has completed 8 out of the 10 scheduled events from tabling and walk and talks. They've reached roughly 275 people, focusing on District 3 in the Horseman Elementary Viva Escuela, San Jose on September. Sorry. And 2 events that will be coming in the future are the Horseman Elementary Viva Escuela, which is coming up in a few days, tomorrow, and the neighborhood conference, which is happening on October 14th. And included in this event includes radio public service announcements, newsletters, social media posting, and flyers. However, survey engagement is the main priority for this phase. So we took the potential areas to study map, the really chaotic map with the blue circles that I showed earlier, and other that met the criteria based on the equity framework and other projects in the area. And we launched a survey showing folks this map and asked them to identify where they would want quick build projects to be located, how we should determine which projects are prioritized, and the type of quick build projects that would be successful in San Jose. As you can see, there are 10 locations on this map, and we need to narrow down to a maximum of 8 locations. And we will further refine these areas through our latest survey. So we will be asking you the same questions during the discussion portion of the presentation, or if we don't have time for that, please reach out to both Drew and myself. But we would also really appreciate if you could help. Please spread the word to your contacts, communities, and stakeholders. We will be closing the survey in 1 week on Friday, October 6th, and want to ensure we have appropriate level of engagement to move forward with this project. As of roughly today, we have about 179 responses. Just pause here for 1 second so you can all take a look.
You can all take your quick phones out and take
the
QR code. Thank you, Sarah. That was great. I think in the interest of your time, we won't go further in the presentation, but rather entertain what questions you might have and be able to report back via standard channels that you use.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That was a lot of information, and you're going to stick around a little if we have some questions after we get through the next presentation. Is that correct? Okay, great. Only about 20 minutes or so. So if you could stick around, that'd be great. If not,
we'll do. We'll be here. We'll be here.
Yeah, and if not, anyone can funnel questions through us, and we'll forward them on to you if that works.
Can you
share your screen?
Thank you.
Next. Holding questions.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I need a clicker.
Yes.
I have a lot of information to share. I have shortened it a lot from sitting here over here in the wings. I'm going to do my best to talk at an appropriate rate, not just accelerate the whole presentation, but focus on the key points. Yeah, and I was here in April, right before we launched this campaign, gave you a really deep, deep dive into what we were planning. So we did all those things. I'm not going to tell you tons about that because we talked about that last time and time is short, but I will tell you a lot more about our outreach and the impressions and engagement we got from that. Okay, I'm Rebecca Graham. I'm here from MIG. With Anna, Old Department of Transportation on the Slow Down San Jose campaign. Okay, so I'm not going to look so much at paid media. In the interest of time, we will glance over earned media, a lot about outreach. Martin's going to share a PTA countywide campaign, and I'll share reports from our research. Okay. I hope you saw these. We got tons of impressions. Many are still up.
Yeah, because people text me to be.
Oh, sure. Okay. I better stand up though then. Okay. So yes, billboards we're all over. Many are still up.
So I hope you've been enjoying them. They're in English, Spanish, and Vietnamese, unless I say otherwise. Everything was delivered in those 3 languages. Also, thank you, TA, for, there you are, for the shelters and the bus tails. Some of those, I believe, shelters are also still up, also in multiple languages. We got broadcast, drive-time radio, 16 million impressions. That means an ad was played to a person. We don't always take in every impression. That's why we do many, 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 right? Okay. We also got digital ads. So we targeted those to devices here, age 18 to 65. We played extra ads to folks that you're seeing targeted here. We're thinking those are more high-risk drivers, more in need of this messaging. Okay, also in social, because that's where people are listening more and maybe sharing with their networks. We got a lot of user data. Meta is, knows who's there. So here's who saw the ad. It's really nicely representative of San Jose, at least in the language, the 3 languages that we use. Got a nice age range as well. For those new drivers we're talking about, we hit them up on TikTok, 16 to 24 only in English and Spanish. We're expecting that folks in Vietnamese and other communities would have received those ads in English, right? They're operating online in English.
Yes.
That's where we get the young people. Okay. So that was about 5 million impressions on that paid digital media. This is all between May and July, so just 3 months. We combine those. So about 22 million paid impressions for a city of 1 million people over 3 months. We're thinking people saw that a lot, had a lot of opportunities to understand the city is investing in safe speeds. It's up to me to drive slowly. You see these faces, right? I don't want that to be because of me. Okay. We also, when we're paying for media, we think it's really important to balance that with earned media, right? That like reputational media. So we saw our chair and vice chair at the press conference. That was the last time I think I saw you all. That was picked up like crazy. 39, it ran 39 times. Basically all the news stations ran it on all of their news for a day or so. Radio played it a lot of times. Mercury News did a story. We earned, gosh, how many? We earned a ton of impressions there as well. I will calculate those later. I think it was about 6 million impressions from that earned media outreach. So nice job on that. Then this is where we get a little more excited. Yes. This is where we got cute kids and superheroes. So everybody tunes in a little bit more. Yeah, I'm going to be also sharing more numbers here, but these now are engagements. So these are conversations, right? These are much deeper than impressions. We're expecting, that's when you change minds, right? Like that's when you move people from thinking about a problem to maybe acting on that problem. So we've got 13 partners, community-based partners that we worked with all around the districts. We hosted, or those partners actually hosted the workshop. So that again, for that authenticity, for that kind of grassroots feel, high school students, encouraging each other to take a pledge, which I'll invite you to do later. Lots of large workshops, small workshops, tabling events. We distributed loads of palm cards. They're available in the back of the room if you didn't get one yet. We counted 8,400 interactions. People telling each other to slow down on the street. Okay, some large events. We got the earthquake involved. Pretty excited about that photo. Here you can see we also did the outreach. This is a workshop that was held in Spanish. We're distributing the multilingual materials. Distributed 500 of these activity books. Schools, let's distribute those at schools. They're really lovely, they're really charming, and they're teaching drivers of tomorrow about safe driving, and those kids are also messengers today, right? They take those home and remind their families time to slow down. This is the middle school event with the home part in the middle, and then I'll talk more about yard signs a little bit later. We earned personal commitments. So here's some messaging. If you want to help people if you want to bring somebody on board, why is Vision Zero matter?
here are what folks told us. Just you'll have to look at these later. I'm sorry, we have to keep moving. But you see they came in many languages. It's a great collage. I don't know that we collected every single one of those, but folks wrote them and decided in their hearts, right, that they had a reason to slow down. Okay, so all told, 16 million out-of-home impressions, almost 6 million digital and paid social media impressions. We had another almost 7 million in earned media coverage, 8,700 contacts, interactions with our outreach. We're looking at almost 28 million impressions or interactions over the campaign time. This is just May to July. As I mentioned, many things are still up and the outreach is still going on, mostly due to Anna's commitment. We'll show her later. Let's see. Yes, so organic out of home. This is not measured. It's not included in the numbers that I mentioned earlier, but there are, Jesse mentioned the changeable message signs. Those are up. They were up for the campaign. Jesse told you what is up with them otherwise. 150 of these streetlight poles banners went up and will essentially stay until we remove them. Same with these laminated signs. 1,000 of these are around at eye level. Oops. Thank you very much, council members, those present and the rest of the council as well. Staff has been super supportive. Thank you. Distributing yard signs, hosting community meetings. Again, like that grassroots, right? This really matters. This is our community. We've got to keep each other safe. Department of Transportation had an event. So Director Risto is there in the middle. I think you're wearing a lei to celebrate Safe Streets. And here's our fearless outreach leader, Anna, with the laminated sign that was out on the street. So just showing how to take up a lot of heart from the city as well. Okay, so that's just in San Jose. But now Montessorino, Los Gatos, Safe Routes to Schools picked up this campaign. That's something that's available. It adds to the regional approach. It takes everybody. People don't just drive within the city, right? They're driving all around the region. And the more that we reinforce this message, the better. So these are available if you have a jurisdiction or a project that wants to get on board. Call Anna. And Lauren's going to tell us about the county campaign.
Great, very quickly. I'm Lauren Ledbetter. I manage the bicycle and pedestrian program at BTA. We were able to extend the San Jose's campaign to the entire county of Santa Clara from Palo Alto down to Gilroy using 2016 Measure B, education and encouragement funding. The funding is specifically geared toward pedestrian and bicycle safety. So we modified the campaign language a bit to also add on to the slow it down message. We added on stop for pedestrians and watch for bicyclists. We were able to leverage the city's contract and procurement process with MIG. So we could just hire the same consultants. So we worked with Rebecca and Deanna, and Anna also provided advice and insight to us when we were developing the campaign. Our campaign is conducted in 4 languages, and we launched right at the tail end of the San Jose campaign. We did it in not just the whole county, but also in San Jose. So there's overlap here. One of the big things that we were able to do that it goes above and beyond the San Jose campaign is that we have vehicle wraps. So I don't know if you have seen our light rail vehicles, but we have bicycle pedestrian message on them in Spanish and in English. We also have some buses that are wrapped. This is imagery that was developed by MIG that follows the San Jose imagery really closely, but it was custom developed for us. We also have a variety of other media which I won't go into. It basically closely follows what the city of San Jose was doing. You can see the list here. I have a photo at the lower right. We also had a press conference. We held it in at Homestead High School, where San Jose is doing a Safe Routes to School project. And we had Chair Foley was able to attend, as well as Council Member Pat Burt from the City of Palo Alto, who is the PTA Board Chair, and the Mayor attended there as well. We are doing a before and after public opinion survey. We did our before survey before the San Jose campaign launched. We'll be doing the after survey later. When I say we, I mean the consultants. And I'm really excited to see what that will show and be able to compare it to a similar before and after campaign that the city is doing. That's all I have.
Thanks, Lauren. That's a great intro. We have reporting. We have initial reporting from a survey, and I would, and except it's really exciting, so I will share it. These things will be coming up in the fall. Keep your eyes open. If you want them, you know who to talk to. This is where they'll be. I'll pull this up later. We'll Chair Foley take the pledge later. Thank you, Chair Foley, for modeling this, why we drive the speed limit. We have early reporting back. So we did a survey in August, September, and then have like quickly pulled numbers to show you. We're still digging in to find exactly how the shift has gone, but about 40% of folks in the city saw the campaign imagery. We saw an increase in the concern of people for safety, concern for the safety of people walking in residential areas, not viewing pedestrians and cyclists as the problem. So very important, right? It's like the cyclists aren't killing people. And more agreement that this is preventable. People should not be dying on the street. Then the last piece that I just really want to share based on the quick build and the Safe Routes to Schools conversations about painting crosswalks, that's what folks suggested. They're saying we're hearing there is support to make these infrastructure investments. And when we say, what should we do to help people slow down on the streets? They suggested speed bumps, barriers, lights, speed limits, speed cameras. And when we just said, do you support changing roadways to make them safer, the majority agreed. So, you know, we don't always hear the sort of neutral, I approve of safety. You hear the louder dissent. And so this statistically significant survey, we're excited to share that folks do want to see these changes. Now, please, any questions, and you can just take the pledge while we talk about it.
Thank you very much for that. That's really informative. I've seen the signs, the posters, the banners everywhere. Everywhere we go, on VTA buses, the light rails, the rollout for it has been tremendous. And I wondered if it worked. And you know, there's 3 ways that we can be more safe in this city. One is enforcement, one is infrastructure, and one is education and changing behavior. And this is changing behavior. So I don't know how you actually gauge whether behavior has been changed. I still see people driving crazy on the street and speeding. So I'm not sure that, you know, I think the message is out there. There's a lot of impressions. It's everywhere. I think that's visually stunning and impactful. So I hope it does have effect on it. We are at 3:25, and I know that everybody put in their calendar that they'd be here till 3:30. So does anyone have any questions? I really appreciate you all being here. We do have to set aside a few minutes for public comment too. So if anyone has any comments, now's the time. Or if you have any questions, please send them to us and we will respond.
Yeah.
Yes, Gina.
I might as well talk. I'm here.
Why not?
So I just feel concerned that we're only meeting every 6 months, considering how many events we have in the city. And I just wanted to make it be known to everyone that I'm available to meet more often with the task force if we choose to meet more often. So on your website, it still says we're meeting every 3 months. Which we're not. Yeah. And then San Francisco meets quarterly, their task force. So I'm feeling like every 6 months might not be enough for us to get something done.
Thank you. That's a good point. Thank you. I'm feeling that too a little bit because we had a lot to cover. It's been 6 months and
Push
it's
it in.
and yeah, we either extend the amount of time in our meetings or we move around a little bit. So we'll debrief a little bit afterwards to see what worked, what didn't with this meeting and go forward with the next meeting. So we do have the next meeting indicated as March 28th. We may move that up depending on the timing of it all, but maybe we can move it into January. So, but we'll talk about that. If that's okay with you, Anna. But no commitments. We'll discuss what's best. We want to get the work done, but these meetings are important. And since we're only meeting every 6 months and we're only meeting for 2 hours, we have to adjust somehow. So we have to figure that out.
I just thought of something else I want to say. I just want to, I know we spend a lot of money in the big capital infrastructure projects, or we're getting grants for those, but we also have to think out of the box as a task force for what doesn't cost that much money, but there are other measures. And I just heard on the news that San Francisco is planning or hoping to ban right turn on red.
I just saw that, yeah.
Which is amazing. I believe New York City has already done it. They did a pilot program. There were 50 intersections in the Tenderloin area where they banned right turn on red, and then they studied it and found a 20% decrease in the crashes in that area. So these are just there are more ideas that we can try to get our numbers down and try to save lives. And, you know, why do we have to turn right on red anyway?
Yeah.
That's a really good point, because a lot of accidents happen because of that. But the only way to get around that is putting up a no right turn on red at every intersection.
Yes, that's
That
the
would
money
be the
part.
cost. That would be the cost,
Mhm.
right? Which is doable, I think. I
Yeah.
think it'd be a good solution.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could I do a quick share out about some work that SBBC has been doing in regards to the King Road Complete Street project? We've been doing some outreach, principally SBBC in collaboration with San Jose DOT and the Tropicana 9 Neighborhood Association. These efforts were complementary to the development of King Road Complete Street program, which will be going for approval at council in 2024. These efforts were consisted of an educational house meeting, which was really important to go into the community and not ask anything, but just to do the relationship building. So we just hung out with them and had dinner. And then we came back for a survey, right? Because they're kind of survey overloaded. But what we did also was make sure that it was educational, because we wanted to do a walking audit, but we wanted to see someone to look for and what to ask for to make it really impactful. And during the educational house meeting that we did, we talked about high visibility and types of speed humps and other strategies for safe streets. So when we went on the walk audit later, they were like, hey, this street doesn't have this, this street doesn't have this, or it does have a pedestrian refuge island, but it's kind of small. Like if I'm walking there with my stroller, or I'm in a wheelchair or walker, like I can't get up there. And it's so small that even if I wouldn't want to, so I'd just be stuck. So they're really kind of engaged and encouraged by the fact that they learned so much about how to make their streets safer. And I just want to give everyone the opportunity to participate in the survey that is currently being conducted by DOT for King Road. You don't have to live there to provide input. If you live in San Jose and you want to be able to drive through that area safely. One of the fatalities that Councilor Duong spoke of, one of the unnamed lives, that of a toddler, of an infant that was trying to cross from District 5 into District 7. Started on this side street, District 5, died in 7. So you don't have to be from any particular district for that to happen.
Right.
That's all.
Thank you. Good stuff. Okay, so concludes our meeting. We had a lot to cover, and I appreciate all of that. We'll adjust somehow. I don't know how yet, not making any commitments on what that adjustment will look like, but it is important that we get the information and then we have a discussion, and we didn't really have time to have a discussion on the presentations. So if you have any comments about the presentations, please send them to us and we can filter them, or not filter them, we can disseminate them out to the task force. With that, we are open for public forum. Do we have any people here for public comment?
One of the names you read earlier would have been someone who died in a bike lane when they hit trash. I don't know which person, I don't know their name, but if your policies are killing people, they should be present in this room. Meet 4 times a year, please. I think you should spend less of your agenda items presenting about surveys that are currently happening or ad campaigns that are currently happening, and spend more of your agenda time talking about actual substantive actions that are either being done, or spend the time to brainstorm things that you want to do, especially if it's going to require cross-department collaboration. I think every department in the city needs to be centering on Vision Zero, just like we ask you to center on equity. So I think waste management needs to be centering on that. HR apparently needs to center on that so that we can hire crossing guards easier. Everyone can play a part in reducing fatalities, and they need to. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne.
I'm Stephen Poulos, Santa Clara County DA's office. I just wanted to introduce myself to the task force, say thank you for the important work you're doing. I'm currently the supervisor of the issuing team. Part of my job is when there is a traffic fatality case that's referred by law enforcement to the DA's office, that goes to my desk. I personally review that, make the charging decision along with a group of other attorneys. So I just wanted to give you guys a name, a face. If you or your constituents ever has a question about where a case is in the criminal court, feel free to give me a call. Also remind you that we have a victim services unit. That's great. They can connect victims to things like California Victim Compensation Court. Also, criminal courts are scary. So as victims' families watch a case go through the criminal court, our victim advocates can go there with them and help them. So again, thank you guys. Stephen Poulos, DA's office.
Thank you for being here. Anna, anyone online?
6.
Okay.
Claire, would you like to unmute yourself?
All right, thank you, Blair Beekman. Thank you for the meeting today. My Zoom wasn't too good either, to also note. I hope this can be a quarterly meeting. Also, and what Jordan said, if you can find ways to better organize yourselves for these meetings, good luck in those efforts. Thank you that you're working on an interesting concept around Vision Zero, understandability in local, areas, neighborhoods at this time. It seems like a good program you're working on. I hope that can continue and make things clear to people, and they want to do good things with this project. And to conclude, someone mentioned statistics, fatality statistics. As always, this has been an issue for months, years now. We have to be really clear on statistics. We're starting to include ideas of equity and homeless people in these statistics. They have to be used decently, and we can't fib with these issues. We can accomplish the same things. Thank you.
Alvin Lee, would you like to unmute yourself?
Hi, thank you for a very informative meeting. I'm very glad we have these meetings. Since this has been brought up that the waste management involvement will be accommodated in the next meeting, as well as the reduced time for public comments, I would like to ask the task force to meet more often than twice a year to allow more frequent updates and to take feedbacks from the public, or at least provide more ways to provide frequent updates and feedbacks. I would also like to comment on the signs posted on the poles for the Slow Down San Jose campaign. I actually noticed them cycling on Heading Street, but I don't think they are very effective because drivers are mostly focusing on the road and cyclists and pedestrians, and I feel like they might be distracting if the drivers are looking at them. And as for right turn on red, so the intersection between Cajillo Street and East Santa Clara Street already has a sign, but most drivers disregard it. The only people that have actually seen obeying it are bus drivers. So I feel like enforcement should be a part of it. Thank you again for all your hard work. Thank you.
Thank you. Jendra, would you like to unmute yourself?
Hi, thank you for all the hard work you guys have been doing. I live on Chenoweth Avenue, and I spoke in the last meeting as well. And after that, I worked with the District 2 traffic inspector, and I got a couple of more safety signs like slow down and yield to pedestrians posted around our area. They do not help. So I'm pretty sure that these signs might work or to very small level, but they do not. And even with the speed limit signs, they do not work. 100% sure they do not work on Chenoweth Avenue. The drivers are speeding up like anything. So I would say the involvement of law enforcement is very necessary here. Law enforcement along with speed cameras are required to slow down the drivers. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Blair, would you like to unmute yourself?
We heard from Blair.
We can work on our same goals if we can. Thank you.
Herbert, would you like to unmute yourself?
Hi, I'm Herb Bowen. I'm with the Los Paseos neighborhood, and the past couple months I've been working with DOT on signage in the center divides, 25 miles an hour signs with school signs underneath them to slow the traffic down. The past 2 months, 6 days, officers have given over 400 tickets from people coming from South San Jose by Martin Murphy School. So that's been effective. The signage in the middle for speeders and people to slow down. We also put more signs over by Santa Teresa High School and Oak Grove on Blossom Hill. So it's an effective way to do it. So I'd like to get more of those throughout the city. Also, the banners could go down a little bit so people can see them, or maybe we put them in the center divide. And the green bags, let's get them out to some of the unsheltered people so we can see them. Thank you for your time. If you need any information from me, contact Kyle. He knows how to get to me. Thank you.
Thank you, and that will conclude the public forum.
Great. Thank you all for being here. See you next time. Not